we met here in Miami through a good friend in the private equity space. And what I liked about this story is the size of the companies to be brokers. So let's listen to this and get some advice on how to do this. You just heard that story. How many times can you repeat something like that?
No, that was great. I have so much to touch upon. So there's 30 million businesses, 20 to 25% are for sale at all times. So about 6 to 9 million businesses are for sale. The baby boomer market represents 12 million businesses out of the 30 million. There are 10,000 baby boomers retiring every day, and there's only 10,000 business advisors in the whole country, compared to 2 million real estate agents. So I took that void and I started my company about 10 years ago. We have about 200 advisors full-time selling companies, anything from a $500,000 restaurant to a $3 billion hotel portfolio in Manhattan. So we're pretty industry agnostic. I sell manufacturing companies, I sell retail, I'm in the car wash space personally, and non-car washes. It's a great space, a lot of monthly memberships. It's just a space that it's getting innovative now. A lot of the average business broker, 60, 65 years old. I took it upon myself. I created an education system. We teach real estate agents how to sell businesses. And I have a SaaS business as well, which is subscription-based. I'm really trying to innovate and grow exponentially in this space. But how many of you have been acquired before? Just so I know what audiences. Typically, sometimes it takes 18, 24 months to get acquired in that size. How long did it take you to get acquired?
6 months.
6 months. Okay. 6 months to 24 months, depending on the size of your company, depending on all the key variables, depending on the EBITDA, depending on the buyer. I deal a ton with private equity buyers. I deal a lot with family offices, mom and pop buyers. And a lot of these private equity buyers, they have a ton of dry powder right now. They're looking to put money to work. They're looking to buy, different verticals. For example, I have a manufacturing company down here in South Florida. They sell residential glass showers. And another company that I'm selling is a turf company. They sell high-end, they sell turf to high-end houses. So their customer is the same. Their customer is a high-end residential client. These PE companies want to package these companies together because they're growing exponentially together. So being in the space, I have a ton of contacts, private equity, family office. I'm here to advise. I'm not here to sell anyone anything. Sorry.
I'm curious, what's the difference between what you do and what an investment bank does, their M&A department?
So an investment bank, pretty much the same. They focus on mid-sized to larger businesses. I'm more in the small business to mid. I kind of like competing against them because it takes them about a month to get all the sims ready, the projections. I innovated the process, a lot of AI in my business, and I could put together an evaluation in 24 hours, a real evaluation with tax return spreadsheets. I have an AI app that I can scan a tax return that will spit out an evaluation potential add backs. An add back, personal add back is cell phone bill, life insurance, things that add to the bottom line to increase your EBITDA, which is the most important thing when you're selling a company. Understand the personal add backs. We're going to understand everything about the business, the dips in revenue, the increases in revenue. And that process will take, if I'm involved with my team, that will take a week to 2 weeks. With AI, it's getting quicker because we can save a day or two going through the numbers. But it's going to take a couple of weeks, really, if it's a big company, to understand the numbers. And then we're going to put a nice SIM together, which is an offering memorandum that we send to our prospective buyers, and we're going to present that. And what I love AI. And he was amazing when he was talking about Ken before. I use an app called Fireflies. So anytime I have a Google Meet, a Zoom, everyone should download Fireflies. It's such a great tool. You plug that in under Google Meet, it transcribes the whole meeting. So when you're speaking to a buyer and seller, all the notes are transcribed, and you can basically save those notes. You can ask ChatGPT, put this in an FAQ, and then as you have more buyer and seller calls, it's really helpful because you gather so much data about the company. You incorporate that into the SIM, and it makes it easier for us to sell because we gather all the data. But I'm in the weeds. I'm working 25 days.
I was going to ask, how do you factor in like intellectual property, IP? So, you know, we have 2 products that are with utility patents, 2 patent pending products. How does that factor in what companies are looking to acquire?
That's a great question too. I have, you know, for example, a manufacturing company, they have their own proprietary software, so when people order glass, it pops up, and that software just saves a tremendous amount of value, tremendous amount of dollars, because it's proprietary. Every situation is different, but that definitely will give an increase on the EBITDA. I've seen intellectual proprietary systems increase EBITDAs by 1 to 3 times. Really depends on your business, and I'd love to, if you're interested, I'll talk to you about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so thank you for all the info. It was very beneficial. But let's say you wave a magic wand and you have your sim put together. It's beautiful, right? Can you talk a little bit about how you market that business, right? So do you have a Rolodex of prospects that are looking to buy a business? Are there platforms? Are there marketplaces? Because that's the key, right? You can work with anybody and create this beautiful story, nice presentation. The accountants and lawyers, they'll put the package together and you have a data room that you give access to the people. But like, how are you bringing the buyers, right? So can you talk a little bit about that?
That's an amazing question. So everything in selling companies is discretion. Like Anna was talking about before, everything is confidential, discretion is everything. And over the course of a decade, I've developed very internal, large network of private equity buyers, family offices, mom and pop buyers, sophisticated buyers, strategic buyers. And I have a way of not giving out all the information, teasing these companies, teasing these buyers. And once interested, I'll dangle the carrot in front of them. If they're further interested, they agree with me on the numbers, they agree with me on the multiple. Then I'll have them sign NDAs. I would like a face-to-face meeting. I would like them to come to me to show that they're putting in the work, they're serious, that they come to me. And I'll sit down with them and I'll show them the sim in person. If not, I'll do a Zoom. And they'll be on their NDAs, I'll have a proof of funds. I'll know everything about them before I even tell them where it is, what it is. I'm very tough to deal with, but you have to be tough when you're dealing with people's livelihood.